that
Exactly.
a bunch of sun hunters around and
Exactly. Exactly.
I have the feeling that could turn out to be rather interesting. I mean, if I'm in the process of creating a deep spawn, and there's this campfire on one side of me, the deep spawn on the other side of me, how am I going to hide? I'm in the middle between the two.
Well, we don't necessarily need to have you near the campfires. We can have people start the campfires and then leave.
Furthermore, if I call up a deep spawn, that's considered an aggressive action,
yes,
isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
If you want to, I mean, if you want to involve Yeldan in this, since you're talking about things in the forest, do you want to wait until he gets there?
I would suggest that we do that. Yes, that we wait for him because he's the one who knows how forests work.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys do some chit chat, and then Yeldan and Lafdul return, and you kind of wave him over and say, "Hey, we're trying to come up with a plan."
Yeah.
I could tell you that Braxon and the others would have to sort of stop Leva from killing the two guys that were taken as prisoners.
We would have stopped you.
Braxon takes Leva aside. Yeah.
She's jumping up and down. She's very angry.
Braxon takes Leva to one side, away from the guys, out of their earshot.
Lafdul's totally following
and says to Leva, "I want to hand these two over to the Pragmatic Order of Thought.
I want to see them killed. I want to see them dead."
Listen to me, Leva. I want to hand these two over to the Pragmatic Order of Thought. These guys know where these people are operating. These guys know faces and stuff like that. I want to hand these over to the Pragmatic Order of Thought. You can kill two people, or you can give these to the Pragmatic Order of Thought. They can go through these people with a fine-tooth comb, and they can find out where there's more slaves. Yeah? And if they want to hire us to rescue those slaves, I'm down for it. Okay? We can't do that if you kill them. So you've got to decide whether you want to break Ockar's promise not to kill them, which you didn't promise yourself.
I didn't promise anything. I would never promise to save a slaver.
So
never, ever.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you've got a choice. Do you want to help me get the Pragmatic Order of Thought to free slaves, or do you want to kill two slavers? And these are bottom level slavers. They're not highly involved in the organisation, but they can say where these people are operating. Do you want to free slaves or not? That's the question you're gonna. That's the question you've got to ask yourself.
You heard that noise in the background? That's how Leva feels at the moment.
That was my cat.
The funny thing is that could have been Yeldan's cat.
No, that was my cat. I was just laying down on the couch, and he came up to me and wanted to get my attention.
Hey, Ald.
Yep.
While Braxton's sitting there talking to Leva, I'm going to tell the whoever's guarding the prisoners not to let Leva in there. Right. Discreetly.
Fair enough.
God, just don't let Leva know that you did anything like that. She pissed so bad.
No, don't. I'm sorry about my cat.
That's okay. That happens.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That was Yeldan's cat on the ship. For background.
It's fun. Okay, so are we done? We'll come back together.
Yeah.
So Braxon's going to say to Yeldan, I've had an idea. I don't know how good a plan it is. I'm thinking the other river that comes from the swamp, if we could make some fires and campsites, we can lay a false trail that will lead some of the slavers to think there's a ship down there, and they might send slaving patrols out there to try and capture people.
Yeah,
So what if we made campsites and we make it look like we're trying to disguise the campsite, but we do a bad job of it?
The thing is that will take much time before.
Sorry, you broke up there.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I'm not muted. Okay. It would take far longer to set up several false sites in a false trail rather than just set up like a very smoky fire as if somebody didn't know how to do a proper fire.
Well,
Yeah,
All right.
I mean,
Well,
most stuff.
we need enough to send them looking in that direction.
Well, if
Wait.
the slavers, if they are actual slavers, a freaking smoky campfire, it will be enough to send them off in that direction.
Okay.
People.
All right. Well, how
It
far
might-
how
they can
far
probably-
down do you think we need to put it?
See, depending if we do it right, we can.
I just realised I could just
If we're
use putrefy food and drink on their food supply as a spell.
does that turn it poisonous or?
It turns it foul, rotten, putrid. They would have to get more food.
Well,
and they
we're
don't have
just
any supply ships coming in for a while.
Or they could eat the dwarves.
they're not cannibals.
They're not
The
cannibals.
ogres would. The ogres probably would eat the dwarves.
Anyways, Yeldan would say, "Yeah, we can set up a false campfire to lead some of them off.
Okay, how many people?
I don't
how
know
many
how-
of us?
I can do that by myself.
Yeah.
The thing is one, we don't know how big was the group that you guys encountered?
It was like
We'd have told you.
6.
It's
Okay,
like 6
so
people.
it was like 6 people, I believe.
the thing is the first group didn't come back, so they might think it's the same people who took out the first group. So they'll do one of two things: send more or not send any at all. There's a possibility of that.
That's true.
If Leva
I'm
said,
hoping if they're the aggressive type of slavers, they'll just send more.
what about if Leva sets up the deep spawn coming out of the lake?
That'll
might
just
cause-
send them to attack it. That's only a momentary distraction. We're trying to get people out of the place for a while, for a period of time. Now,
Well, a
Lafdul
campfire is not more than a momentary distraction. In fact, it's less.
Well-
I go there, I see, oh, it's only a small fire. They're not.
Yeah, but
just-
they're also
But they
thinking,
have
like,
to
oh,
travel.
slaves.
They have to travel to the fire.
Yeah, they're going to go there.
We have time
whereas
while
the
they're traveling.
deep spawn will be right there. They won't go
Yeah,
back.
they'll
How
just
do you
catapult
know?
the deep
The
spawn.
deep spawn doesn't need to be right there. How far away can I
If it's not-
actually create something? Can
You want it to come out of the lake. Their campsite is right next to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
You would have
The
to cast
idea-
it from
Maybe.
the forest.
I think Lever's deep spawn is going to be our ace in the hole. I think when we
get a majority of the guys out once we have distracted some of them off with the fires.
It's only going to be one camp because we won't have time for that. It's more than that. As
Well,
soon as
yeah.
we decide to do that, we have to act on that day as well.
Well,
Um,
I think the deep spawn's going to be really handy at the time we're trying to get in or out, and it's going to
And
have to be Lever's call when to do it.
The thing is also the whole keep fouling the water will have to, in order for that to take effect, at least we'll have to wait at least a day.
Oh.
Lever,
Or
I've
them-
got an idea.
I thought we were going to make them sick to their stomachs. That doesn't. If we foul their water or their food, that just means they don't have anything to eat and they're going to be
That's-
bad tempered. But that doesn't mean that they drink the bad water or they eat the bad food. They
Well,
probably
we're-
want to do so.
That's what
We're-
these fairies are for. I also, Leva, do you think you can turn these into like a juice liquid or something and then put it in a vial? Because just
You
putting
know-
a bunch of berries in the waters, they're going to do nothing.
You know, at the moment we should explore every idea. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's not decide whether an idea is good or bad. Let's explore every idea, The idea I had with Higgimus, which was setting off smoke charges, we couldn't do because we don't have enough smoke charges with us. Yeah.
We have
So we'll have
guns.
we'll have some ideas. Yeah, we'll have some ideas that we just can't use. Let's throw all the ideas into the pool. Yeah. And it could be that some ideas are not our best ideas, but things change on the ground and our best ideas become useless. And the second best ideas are the things that save the day. Yeah.
Well, also,
So I think that deep spawn's quite a flexible thing. Lever, here's an idea for you. Imagine we escape from the camp with the dwarves. Can you make it look like the deep spawn comes out of the water and eats us?
Oh, that's an idea. Old?
Because
what do you think?
Well, how big is the deep spawn?
Massive,
As-
but
As
I
big
don't
as I
know,
make it.
water. We
As
can't
big
move
as I
in the
make
water.
it, I think.
imagine if we run away and the deep spawn comes out and eats us. Yeah,
Okay, but how do we
they'll
get
stop
the thing-
chasing us. They'll
How do
stop
we get the
chasing us.
dwarves to go along with this idea?
No, well, we don't need the dwarves to see it. We just cast it behind us.
I don't know whether that's
this sounds
possible.
like
Old, what
this
what do you think?
This sounds like it could go very badly very quickly.
Well,
it's
I mean,
an illusion.
that's like-
It's not the real one. It's an illusion.
Even with the illusion, it feels like this could go very badly
Yeah,
very
but that's
quickly.
like Lafdul going into the base. He had to take a risk for it.
Mm-hmm.
you could
I'm
you
gonna-
could certainly try to do that. How successful you will be, you don't know. I mean,
And would I be correct in assuming
Here's-
that I wouldn't be able to run around with the others and do this at the same time?
it's a concentration spell, correct?
I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Concentrate
So no, you wouldn't be able to run. You would have to. You can move slowly.
Or Higgimus could carry me. Higgimus, would you carry me around?
If he's bumping you around, I don't know.
I could carry you
I
around.
would point out that rather than having the deep spawn eat us, it'd be better to have the deep attack the camp.
Oh, can
So
I-
that way they want to deal with the deep spawn first.
I think the
Yeah.
The way I would envisage is the deep spawn coming out the water, sort of snapping us up and disappearing back into the water, because that would leave the people in the camp in the stockade insecure about whether this was a real one or not.
Yeah.
It all depends
In
on
which case they would go out and check.
it all depends on whether or not they believe it.
Yeah.
The thing is
Uh,
that won't work because we'll still be there. It
No,
doesn't
we-
render us all invisible all of
No,
a sudden.
I'm saying if we disappear into the woods, if the deep spawn came out and pulled people out the woods that looked like us and either went towards the camp to attack it or went into the water, it doesn't have to convince them forever. It just has to make them hesitate. And
How
and
does that-
if some of them lose morale and don't chase us, then we don't have to face down 50 people. If we face 10 people instead of 50, we can handle them.
And how does that work with disbelieving in such a case? I mean,
Well-
if I disbelieve in a deep spawn that attacks me and tries to kill me, and it is an illusion, then I'm not being hurt by it. But how does it work on something like this?
Well,
So, to a certain extent, it depends on the thing that you're creating, whether you've seen it before, whether it's believable, that sort of thing. You know,
I've
can
seen a deep
you-
spawn before.
I'm giving
Okay.
you the general guidelines. How familiar you are with it and the actions it is doing. You know, it's one. You know, if you raise horses and you've seen them eat, it's really, really easy to make an illusion of horses eating. If you've seen a dragon flying overhead, yeah, you've seen a dragon flying overhead, but if you've never seen it eat anything, then you don't know if your illusion of a dragon eating something is going to be believable.
Mm-hmm.
And also, some of it also is based on what the audience is familiar with. You know, an audience that has never seen a horse before may believe a horse eating something even if the person creating the illusion has never actually seen that, just because they've never seen it either.
How many people have seen a deep spawn feed?
Exactly.
So I mean, it's going to be a kind of a situation of you'll really have to try it and find out how it works. But keep in mind that the more elaborate you make something, the greater the chance that you will miss something and it will, kind of fall into the uncanny valley.
Yep. That's why I'm thinking a deep spawn coming out and plucking us out of the forest one by one is probably not the right way to go. But a deep spawn coming out and looking threatening and sort of disappearing back into the lake, that could be quite threatening.
But also
especially when it sort of bobs up and down again.
Also keep in mind that the second you begin a plan, everything goes to hell anyway. So the more flexible you are, rather than no, we plan to do it this exact way, even though the situation is changing. So you can kind of say, all right, I've got 2 ideas here, and I will go with whichever one fits the situation when we get to it.
Yeah.
So,
that depends a bit on the goal that we are trying to achieve.
Well,
what are we trying to achieve? That it's that they stop following us, that they are frightened of a deep spawn?
Well, both of them could be a goal.
Ultimately, when the fight starts happening, you're going to have to make the judgment call.
This is what Yeldan's idea is. He wants to basically get the water supply, so when they do eat and drink for a whole day, makes them all sick.
I'm not an alchemist yet, so how could we do this?
And then, that's also going on. We have Lafdul sabotage at least. That he'll be able to. He has the ability of sabotage at least 2 catapults.
You don't need alchemy to be able to do this. He's got the berries. Wouldn't you just need to squish the berries to get the juice out, and then pour the juice into something?
It's a lot of water in a well, though.
Yeah.
You need several jugs full, I assume.
Not necessarily. You don't need to contaminate all the water, just the top bit.
Make them drunk. I mean, we have 2 people with cooking. We don't need alchemy. We have berries that we can actually ferment, and so we just make them drunk.
You know what?
We can create enough alcohol so we can have them all drunk.
Doesn't it take a few days to ferment stuff in the beer?
You can help along. You can help along with vinegar and stuff.
You know what I'm thinking.
Hold on real fast. There's a brewing proficiency and a winemaking proficiency.
Of course there is.
Cooking isn't covered. Cooking doesn't cover that.
Yeah,
but we're not brewing a beer. We are actually making, if anything, it should be distillery. Because we're distilling alcohol.
It those 2 proficiencies cover it.
So
okay, Braxton's going to hold up a finger. You know what I'm thinking? Lafdul's already risked his life going in there once. If we're going to get Lafdul to sneak in there again, these are all great ideas. You're saying poison the water, poison the food, do this, do that.
It's something else.
It's something to make your stomach upset. It's
spoiling.
Yeah,
you're
spoiling it. Okay, whatever you want to call it. These are all great ideas. When Lafdul gets in there, his options are going to come down to what he's able to do. So I love all the ideas everyone's got. Let's give Lafdul enough stuff to do all of that stuff and see what he is able to do, what he's able to get away with. If he can't get to the food, he can't poison the food. End of story.
Well,
if he can't get to the well, he can't poison the well. Yeah? If he can, he can. If he can't trap the stairs in some way, maybe take some screws out so a step becomes loose. If he can't do that, he can't do it. But if he can do it, let's give him everything he needs to be able to do all the stuff we come up with.
Yeldan, are there some sort of wheat derivatives in the forest? Wheat or
We're not-
corn?
Wait, I thought we were giving out the booze idea because we can't make it.
It's not booze. It's got nothing to do with booze. The thing is, if we were on the field, we could sort of go and collect the bad wheat and corn stalks, because those have hallucinogenic in them.
Ergot, yeah.
That will go under cooking because you have to recognize it when you bake bread.
However, no, there is no cultivated plants on
Lafdul,
near you.
I got a question for you.
Generally, you'd find wild versions of those in open field, not the.
Yeah, but they're very. There's a huge difference between wild wheat and corn and cultivated wheat and corn in terms of what you can actually, easily do with it and stuff like that.
Lafdul said he's got that putrefy food and water.
I got several spells I could use.
I've got a question for you, Lafdul, and your spells sound like a great idea as well. Did you manage to find the room where they keep the alcohol?
No, but I have a good guess.
You got a good guess.
Alcohol of fire.
But
yeah, that's what I was.
There's
That's what I was
too many
going.
people.
Okay.
It's far too many people.
Okay, so our options that we have for you to do things, when it comes down to it, if you're the one that goes in, it's all down to what you think you can do. We don't want you getting killed. Yeah. Do you think you could get something in there, not to set light to the alcohol, but to start a fire later?
I could probably set something on fire.
Yeah.
I can use my dagger, but I don't know if it will bring me out of my invisibility.
We have
No, attacking alcohol. Setting a fuse.
Alt.
It's
Let's
probably not attacking.
Let's not assume.
All right. Here's a. Are we doing anything tonight?
Probably not, because unless you want to go back.
Here's the way of testing it out. I'm going to draw up my dagger and command the dagger to set a light.
Okay,
so
you're just standing there and commanding it to flame. Are you above decks or below decks?
I would be doing this above deck.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's middle of the night. It would be pretty obvious I'm doing this.
It is, yeah. It depends on. It.
Can I go to a more sheltered area so it's not so obvious, like behind one of the?
No, I'm just saying. It determines how I describe it. If you're up on deck, if you guys are all discussing this up on deck rather than below decks, it's fine with me. I don't care. It just depends on how I describe it.
I would have thought we'd be in our meeting room.
There's no real.
You don't have a meeting room.
On the
ship.
Well,
we do. Zar could redesign the ship so we had a big room.
Pretty tiny.
Yeah, that's a mess hall.
So do you want to be in there? Do you want to be in that room?
I would.
Okay. All right. So you guys are in there because that's where you're talking about it. Lafdul, you pull out the dagger and command it to flame. The rest of you can feel the heat. You can see the light of flames flickering on the walls, although the continual light spells that you have in here also kind of hide some of that. But you cannot see Lafdul.
Oh, give me something to burn. Someone hand me something.
Well, we don't know where you are, but we can put something on the table.
Just hold your hand out with a torch or something. I'll see if I can light it up with my dagger.
But a torch is something positive. You won't be lighting a torch at the time.
Yeah, I want to know if I come out of invisibility by doing it.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
so
Braxon goes get a torch.
And you just hold it out for him?
Just holds it out in the rough direction he thinks Lafdul's in from his...
Yeah, I won't burn him. I'll burn the torch.
Okay, Lafdul, Braxon almost pokes you in the eye.
What's where you're pointing that thing?
Sorry,
you do
can't
not
see
come
you.
out of the invisibility just by igniting the torch.
So I stay invisible, but the torch ignites?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's
But
quite
that
useful.
isn't intent part of the getting out of invisibility?
Well, there's no bad intent. I'm just lighting something on fire.
Okay.
It's
Here's
a
a
very
question.
current act. No.
If you're trying to burn something down, there is intent there.
Here's a question. Can he light?
Yeah,
Here's
but
the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the question. He can light a torch. Great. And then can he? What happens when he lights the torch, and just lets go of the torch? Not throwing it aggressively. Just drops it.
Drops it on a barrel.
We don't know.
Let's go outside. Let's go outside and try that.
all right.
So
You
we'll
could-
have him take the torch as well.
So, but see, the thing is that the situation is different.
It's controlled.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's controlled. And,
Exactly.
The thing is that
unless Lafdul actually decided that he was going to try and burn the ship down, I'm not entirely sure that you're going to be able to mimic the situation of trying to start a fire inside the fortress to see if
That's what I was
invisibility
afraid of.
will dispel.
Yep.
Oh, we're
That's
dealing
what I
with an
thought.
entire fortress, which is a problem. Was the
That's
fortress
exactly
made
what I
of?
thought.
Was it made of stone or wood?
wait, we have alchemist
I
fire.
think
Water.
it's wood, isn't it?
I think it's wood.
It can be burnt down.
We have alchemist fire, right? Alchemist fire cannot be put out with water.
But they are right next to a huge lake, though, for regular fire.
I've got
Yes,
another question, which is
Like I said, alchemist fire as far as I know, cannot
You
be
put
put
sand
out
over it,
with
though.
water.
I've got another question for you guys. Well, to anyone really, but most of you finger waggling people. We're assuming we have to go in through the front gate. Now, if Lafdul can tell us where this place is,
We can use
is
the
there,
ship.
is there
to
any
get it.
chance? I'm not talking about using the ship. The ship will be attacked by the weapons, and
Why not?
if we do bring the ship up, we're going to have all of them attacking us.
But
What
if-
my question is, if you let me ask my question, you'll know what it is. What my question is can we go through the wall somehow?
we have
Doesn't
a bomb.
Lafdul have something that allows him to see or walk through walls?
I can see through walls. That's something I should have used, actually, my ring.
Right.
Can you
Yeah,
walk through
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot.
Okay, so you're still invisible now. Can you, if we go back, can you look through the walls from the outside and confirm where the dwarves are being held? And has anyone got any idea of anything we can do to blow up a wall?
We have that one bomb left. What we can totally do is we can blow up the bomb. We can blow up the section of wall where one of the catapults are, so a corner, not right where the dwarves are.
Mm-hmm.
So we take out a catapult and we get another way in.
Yeah,
Well-
the top left corner of one, I think you could do that.
Lafdul, if you can have a look through the walls from the outside, do you think you could make us a map?
Well, he can already make us a.
Well, I'm invisible. I'm having to tell you how to make them up.
I have a scroll with fire trap on it.
Right.
Yeah, I got like a glyph of warding scroll as well.
So,
Protection from evil, mirror image, fire trap, protection from trap.
Auld, would
Mhm.
my ship's carpentry, which isn't really the same as grounding carpentry, would that give me any idea of how hard it will be to make a hole in the wall?
Using one
You
of the
need to see the
Braxon's
wood.
using one of
Yeah.
the.
Shall I make a GM roll?
So I mean, to a certain extent, I mean,
We can describe how thick the wall is,
yeah, I mean,
and
Lafdul.
see if you can figure out how.
Or hold on.
How-
Okay, Lafdul was there. He would have explained that the wall to you was a palisade wall made of logs,
Mm-hmm.
not boards, logs.
Yep.
So, right there, that should give you some idea of comparative
How strong
difficultness compared
Yeah.
to.
The
say,
thing is,
ship.
there's also
I have one of the scrolls has minor creation on it, and I'm just looking whether I could actually use that to properly create something instead of just creating an illusion.
Could you create a door?
I don't know. I'm just looking.
Actually, my warp wood might be able to make us a door. Warp the wood apart. It wouldn't be very big though.
It
Yeah,
only needs to be big enough for a dwarf to get through.
10 yards a level.
10 yards is big.
Yeah, it would be 40 yards.
That's a lot.
It would probably permanently destroying its straightness and form. So it would be like you might have the odd gap.
No. That's the range.
Oh, is that the range? Not how much it affects? How much
Yeah,
does
it is
it
range.
affect?
Actually, he's right.
It affects approximately a
15
15-inch shaft of wood of up to 1 inch diameter per level of the caster. So 4 inches diameter.
Braxon,
A head, basically.
soft goods, rope, wood, etc. Create an item of non-living vegetable nature. The volume of the item created cannot exceed 1 cubic foot per level of the spellcaster, and it stays in effect for the spell's duration, which is 1 hour per level.
So,
and I have to have one tiny piece of matter of the same type of item I plan to create. So theoretically, if you give me a piece of door, I might be able to create the door.
Yeah, but you might be creating a door. You might be creating a door.
A bit of twisted hemp to create a rope, a splinter of wood to create a door, and so forth.
Yeah,
you
can you create a door in a wall, though?
You can't walk through that door.
Can I? Can't I?
No.
Old?
So you want to try and use minor creation to create a door?
In a wall that's already there.
No.
Yeah,
it creates a volume in front of you kind of thing. You can't create it in something.
How far away can you cast that lever?
What?
Well, you know we've got to take out the catapults. Could you create something that
no, it's touch.
That binds...
range is touch.
Ah, right. Okay, fair enough. That's a shame. Because we've got to do different things to take out these catapults.
Well, we could use Higgimus's bomb to take out one, and also use that to create an entrance at the same time.
What's the wall made from? Is it a wooden wall or is it a stone wall?
It's a wood palisade.
It's a wooden palisade, so it's a bunch of logs, which means there's actually parts of the palisade that's thinner than the rest because it goes where the two logs.
Because I have one of the spells on this scroll as well is transmute rock to mud.
I've got that as well. Funny enough.
Are we talking about the same scroll?
No, you two both have the same spell on different scrolls. There's a wizard's version and a priest's version.
Okay.
It's sure a shame that none of you can summon a giant beaver. We just have the giant beaver dig a tunnel under the wall. And
could we make a hole under the...
How many days do you want to spend doing this?
Yeah, it'd take too long.
The thing is we have to do it stealthily, and for that tactic to work.
Who's to say they're not going to come out and attack us tonight anyway? So
they don't know where we are.
If I transmute something from rock to mud, is it like a marsh type mud afterwards? So could I actually transmute the rock below the camp?
You mean by section of the wall? Yeah,
it's
maybe.
built on mud, though. I would say
it's not built on mud. It's built on rock. It's built on dirt. Is the problem?
Well, we don't know, do we?
I would.
Has anyone dug a hole to check it out?
You need to be able to see the rock. You can't transmute rock that you are assuming is below a layer of soil.
What a pity.
So you'd have to dig down to the rock and then do it.
Nothing happening here. I'm just digging.
Yeah, that won't work. Here's a question. I was just trying to figure this out. So we can attack I think the best way about it is we use alchemy. If we want to do this the quick way, we take the ship. We use a Higgimus bomb to take out one catapult, like stealthily. Of course, it's gonna be loud and then as soon as that happens, we use the ship to fly over and throw some of our vials of alchemist fire down at the which will set a fire that they can't put out. I think I have a vial of it.
Sounds good, but I still think we should lay a false trail first.
Well, we have several different things now. We have the Lafdul, try anything in the camp that you feel comfortable with. We have the deep spawn or anything Leva could do. As long as Higgimus carries her around when she starts the spell.
Okay, maybe we don't have it.
What else do we have?
Just keep in mind that it's not just that Higgimus would be like picking you up and tossing you over his shoulder kind of thing. That would break your concentration.
We've done that before, remember? I think Higgimus learned there how he has to carry me so I don't lose concentration.
Right, just letting you know.
If you have the deep spawn drop back into the lake, you don't need to concentrate anymore.
Yeah, but it has to move first.
Yeah. Well, what I mean is if we've got other things going on and you make the deep spawn appear, do something, and then vanish into the lake, I like your idea, because once it goes back into the lake, you can stop concentrating on it and people won't have the illusion broken because they can't see through the lake to it. So they won't know where it's gone.
I'll have it bob up and down a bit for a little while and then disappear.
Well, you'll need to be running away.
No, that's what Higgimus is for. He carries me around.
I like the I think the idea of a blitzkrieg is probably going to be the most effective. We can do we spend one day having Lafdul infiltrate the camp again. And I take some time to set up a false campfire to light the next day, like a camp.
Well, we've not heard from
smoky campfire.
We've not heard from Ockar for a while. I like Ockar's idea of getting some people to come out and taking them on.
Yeah, I've got a lot of spells to disable them if I get time to rest.
I was wondering, Lafdul, if we should coordinate our spells for a change, as an exception tonight, to see what we could do tomorrow.
Don't mind.
It looks like James is trying to say something, but I can't hear anything.
Is he still on mute?
He's really quiet.
Okay, can't hear you.
No, another
we
word.
can see the thing, but we can't hear you. We heard something then. Like you dragging it or something.
All right, well, he can always jump in with suggestions later. Yeah. So, for now, do you guys want to, take a rest? Yeah, rememorize spells, that sort of thing?
How long does it take to actually get back to that camp? Just out of curiosity. Was it like an hour track?
Like a day, like an hour or so.
Yeah.
Because I could still do it tonight, just to look around the perimeter. Just to see if the doors are in there.
Braxon would be game to go out with anyone that wants to go do a recce. The one last thing that Braxon wants to ask is, mostly to Yeldan and Lafdul, who are our experts on this. Is it worth us building any man traps?
I honestly don't know how.
I don't know how to yet either.
Big spikes in the ground.
Oh yes.
That'll
anyone-
take far too long to dig a hole. Put the.
I've just got
piece of
spells
wood.
that can entangle them, so then you just shoot them down while they're stuck.
Okay.
Or I can
Uh,
use magic to disable them, and then you just go over there and tie their hands up.
You know what?
Well,
Here's an idea.
I'm thinking if they try to outflank us and get to us, when we come in to get near them, we're going to have a camp near them. If they try to come around and get us, we can have things on our side that aren't us.
We don't necessarily. Well, you're going to be here, I think, for tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to do some. I'm going to set up the false campsite.
It's just an idea.
Lafdul's going to sneak in again to do some sabotaging.
Yeah.
And the next day, the day after that, I think we're going to do our attack.
So real fast regarding getting back to the camp, it's a bit over an hour if you take the boat. If you don't take the boat, it's going to be longer. So just being clear. So like if Lafdul, you were going to go off on your own and do that, and go the whole way on your own, it would take longer.
How much longer? Plus, I'd have to ford a river as well.
Braxon is quite happy to go down with the boat to take Yeldan and Lafdul down, and anyone else that wants to come with us and guard the boat somewhere.
It'd be about 2.5 hours.
Yeldan would suggest we set up, we rest tonight, we get ready, do some sabotage stuff tomorrow, then rest the next night, and then be ready to do a blitz the next day, because we gotta make this quick.
Supposed to last 24 hours, so we will last until tomorrow, I assume.
If you want to get the value out of your invisibility, I'm happy to go earlier.
It doesn't matter. I don't mind doing it. Well, you can see what they're doing with the dwarves.
I'm going to have 2 invisibilities tomorrow, 2 spectral forces in case something goes wrong with the first time. And I'm thinking about getting Fitterfall.
The idea, Yeldan was sabotage stuff today, so more invisibility, anything that's more about sneaking around.
I'm sorry. Can you redo that again? Because I missed exactly what your point was.
Well, the idea is more stealthing stuff. So invisibility is great for being hiding, stuff like that. So if we can get more of us invisible, that'd be great. So we can get possibly maybe both Yeldan and
Oh, okay. So you kind of want to like overlap the durations.
Yeah.
I think I must have 1 wild magic spell, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 at each level.
So then I have a maximum of 2 invisibilities.
Okay. That's fair.
But unless Lafdul does something, his invisibility is not going to wear off until
like tomorrow evening.
Yeah, late afternoon tomorrow.
So if we go early in the morning, it'll still last.
And I got 2 potions if you really want the majority of us to be invisible.
Here, can we cut something like?
Oh.
No, cutting won't be a good idea. What about dripping something? Yeldan's trying to figure out if Yeldan will ask Leva if dripping something onto rope or something will break the invisibility.
Depends on depends on exactly what the goal is.
To sabotage a catapult, because Lafdul said he had acid, so you can drip acid onto one of the ropes, weaken it, or break.
Well, my favorite catchphrase might come up here.
Well, can you roll a spellcraft check to see if that intent will break the invisibility or something?
According to information, where should I copy this? This is what it says in the booklet. Old already said that the wizard cannot cancel it, therefore it must be the recipient. So whatever I copied in here is not correct, despite it being straight out the book.
Let me see.
So attack any creature. Is sabotage classed as attacking?
It's not
There you
just
go.
attacking, it's hostile acts, because creating an illusion to attack would also end it.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't
That's
forget
why I was
this.
wondering. I'm not attacking necessarily a person.
All highly intelligent, intelligence 13 or more creatures with 10 or more hit dice
Yeah, I can
have a chance
roll.
of detection. So you may want to be careful when you play pranks on people, especially when you don't know their intelligence.
He didn't sound intelligent to me.
We don't know he did that though.
Oh, okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, you can voluntarily cancel it. That's right.
I'm not going to voluntarily cancel. Not
But
now.
yes, in the case of putting it on, I would say that it's recipient, i.e.,
the person
Not
who's
the wizard.
having
And do you
right.
say?
Yeah, the only time the wizard can cancel it is when they cast it on themselves.
Well, okay.
So the idea that Yeldan was having was like, yeah, if you can get away with like dripping acid on the ropes of the catapult, like not to like literally break the rope, but to weaken it severely.
It's
so
the
when
intent.
it goes off, it snaps.
It's the intent.
But he does.
So
you
if he
guys
intends
don't
to
know.
hurt something,
You don't know whether that will count until you get there. Because I'm not going to tell you.
it's an
Yeah.
assumption. Yes, it's an assumption. I would think that probably he turns visible.
So
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
We'll
if
see.
that
We'll see.
was
Do you
crap.
still have the potion, Lafdul?
Got 2 potions.
So would that give you enough time to return to me so I could renew the invisibility spell?
I assume if I'm going to drink it, I'm getting out, as in we've done the sabotage. If we go back in, then
Here's
Yeah, but if for example you've done something and it turns out that it's considered to be aggressive and therefore you turned visible again, you may not have finished what you wanted to do.
so while people are getting ready to go to rest, Yeldan's gonna take the berries that he and Lafdul have found and start squeezing them into juice
okay.
and putting them in a vial.
Yeah, I mean,
Putting
I
that
can
into
help
a
you.
vial.
yeah, you'd
I
probably
can help
actually
you with that.
use a mortar
Yeah.
and pestle to crush them up into a pulpy paste, mix
Okay.
them up with some other liquids and stuff like that. All right, so you guys are gonna now rest. Lafdul, you're not gonna go back to the camp tonight, correct?
the last 24 hours, so I can wait until tomorrow.
Okay. And Yeldan. So, well, I guess this is really for all of you. There was some discussion of fake campsites or fires. What
I'm
do you-
not sure.
My plan is to set up fake campsites with fires to like the fire pit isn't lit, but it's ready to be lit like quickly with green material to make a very smoky fire. So when they see the smoke from the fire, they're gonna go and possibly send people after that direction.
So they can basically double for both, depending on what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is today. Yaldan's idea is this next day is day to set some things up, like get the well, put the stuff, the juice that he and Level made together into the well, so they're gonna have problems next day because he doesn't. It's not gonna take effect right away. It's gonna be the next day. Everybody's gonna start getting like the runs and upset stomachs and They're not going to be feeling great. They're not going to be in top form.
Okay.
I can only have one spectral force because the second one has to be a wild magic spell.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Lafdul and Leva, you can change up your spells if you want. Memorize new stuff.
Ockar was definitely trying to say something.
It doesn't matter now. You guys already have your plan.
No. If you have an idea, I mean, if you were trying to speak
couldn't
earlier and it wasn't coming through, go ahead and share it now. I mean, it could change everything.
Well, one thing I was thinking about is like, okay, so you guys have a plan of how we're gonna sabotage them and everything, but how are we going to escape once we actually get the guys? I mean,
Well, doing that.
Hang on, let him finish.
Yeah, let me
Okay.
finish.
The plan that I like, you guys are planning on sabotaging the catapults and all that, and once we do get all that done and we get in there and we get the guys, how are we going to escape? The idea I have in mind is having some kind of signal, like a smoke signal or something that we can quickly do, like with a smoke charge or something in the fort to signal our ship to come pick us up with the people.
The idea that I had was the next day is we're not gonna get the people out today. Was gonna sabotage.
I get that. I mean, when we go and do it,
The idea is we were gonna blow up at least one of the catapults with Higgimus's bomb, and we're gonna use the ship to fly over to rain
Right.
down some
Hold on
alchemist
a
fire.
second.
Yeah, that doesn't address his point.
Right.
He's dead
Yeah.
right.
And then we'll
If-
land the ship like right next to the fort to pick up people.
Really? We haven't
Really?
sabotaged the rest
We're
of the
Well,
Yeah.
hang on. If we land the ship right smack on top of the fort, they might come and overrun the ship.
I thought
more
that
of them.
the way if we're gonna do that, then we're just gonna have to. I think the best plan for that is to
Whittle them down.
like lower ourselves down by ropes or something, like drop ourselves off there, not just land the ship.
Mhm.
The reason
And
that's
laying
why
the ship is the worst idea.
that's why we're sabotaging the idea is they're gonna be weakened and not up form. So
No. Ockar's right. I think we need to go in on foot. And then we got to have an extraction plan. Now, we
Right.
don't know the condition of the dwarves, do we? You're right, Ockar. We don't know the condition of the dwarves. Some of them might not be able to walk. We might need to carry them. They might be able to run. So we've got to get to a place. I don't know how close, how far. And he's
the
right.
forest.
We've got to be able to signal the ship to come and get us. If we're in the forest, can it come and get us from the forest? Can they drop a rope ladder and pick us up from the river? If we would sail down the river on the boat, could they come over that river and pick us up out of the boat?
Well, the idea is if like we're gonna signal them and to pick us up right at the fort while all the chaos is happening, we could easily.
Yeah, but they're going to be
signal-
shot by the
we are
catapult.
not. I'm sorry, Yeldan, but when all the mess has happened, we are not at the fort anymore. We've gone because a big part of the whole mess that we are creating is to help us get away. So, for example, the deep spawn doesn't come out just to say hello and go away again. It's there to allow us to get further away from the fort. So there's no point in having a ship land at the fort if we are not there. We actually have to find something that logically makes sense in a way that when we get away, how do we go on getting away?
Once
Hold on. How are we going to end this thing? We're all talking about getting away.
yeah, we need a way to
things
get
that we
in
don't know
for
how to
itself.
get in.
Hold
We
on.
need both.
Nobody's
hold
addressed
on,
how to
real
get
fast, real fast. So number one, Lafdul has a plan in addition to possibly, spoiling their well, of doing some further reconnaissance with his ring, which he didn't think about last time he was there. That will answer a lot of the questions that you have. Number two, you guys have multiple ways to fairly easily get in once you've figured out where they are and out. I am not going to say any more than that. but you guys might want to take a little time looking over your items again in between game sessions. That said, there are, there's a lot of ways in and out, but finding out exactly where they are and stuff like that is going to be key. And once you get more information, that can refine the plan further. So you don't need to figure out right now how you're getting in and out.
Okay.
I could just.
But it's a good point to keep in mind that we have to solve it, and it doesn't just solve itself.
No, I like
inspiration.
And that was the problem that I'd been having with this entire plan as I've been listening to you. Like, I understand like the sabotage part of it, but it's like the in and out is something that we need to figure out as well.
Thank you for bringing that up. I think you may have just have saved our lives. I've got a quick idea, right? You said about a signal. We know the route we're going to take to go in. We can talk to the people on our ship.
Do you?
We're going to go down the river probably.
Well,
all right. We can work out the route we're going to go in. We can work out the route we're intending to go out. Yeah. You said about a signal to our ship. If we say our intention is to come along the river, if we can, in the boat with the dwarves, if we can tell the ship this. And if we work out what your signal is, we can tell the crew to take the ship off and come and look on the river. If they see us, they can drop down a rope ladder. We can start getting people up onto the ship from the river. If we can't do that, we can get back to where the ship is now. We can extract there.
Well, we have a bomb and a smoke charge, right? Or is it the same thing?
The smoke powder charge is like for Higgimus' gun, which.
Well,
the idea is I was thinking is rather than just trying to run away from the base while all the chaos is happening, like the bomb is the signal for the ship to come in, swoop in, quickly pick us all up, and fly away.
No, it won't be able to do that because they'll only take out one of the catapults, and even if we,
well, the idea is also the idea is today we sabotage the other 3 catapults, or at least 2 of the other catapults. There'd only be actually 1 catapult at that point that's functioning.
I don't think we're going to extract from the actual site. I think we're going to have to come away a bit.
Extract from the fort itself. We're going to have to try to find a way to get away from the fort.
Okay.
Can I say a couple things?
Go.
All right. So I want to bring you guys' attention. We have a couple more things that are actually on the ship. We have 4 things of Greek fire. I just want to let you guys know we have that.
That's
also, I would like to get the other part of what our actual job is, which is to get information on who it was that did this in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's any way you guys can think, it doesn't necessarily need to be now because it's already getting kind of late. But
we're gonna
think about this week about a way to get information on who it was that did this. Because I don't think the prisoners that we have will know anything of value as far as that.
We ask them who the leader is. We can also ask them what the leader looks like.
Well, still. Anyway, so along that lines, I would like to get some more information along that.
Okay.
And then also, I would like Lafdul, if he could, to draw like some sort of crude map for us of what this place looks like, so we can have a better idea.
Yeah.
And visualize it.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and call the session here in just a moment. First, before we do that, so you guys go to sleep. Ockar, you have a dream.
Uh-huh.
And the dream, you feel drawn in one direction, and I'll tell you more about that when we get back into the next session when you wake up. But the dream is just like, it's not a very long dream, but you hear a wolf howl for a very long time, and you'll feel drawn in a certain direction when you wake up the next morning. So that's where we're gonna end the session, and keep in mind what I said. keep in mind also that there is relatively little of this area that you've explored. There may be things that are of use around, and we'll leave it at that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me go ahead and give out some experience points. So let's see.
Lafdul gets lots.
Yeah,
I
a lot of
might
thief
get a
XP,
lot.
I think.
I didn't really.
Good
I
thing
only
too,
snuck
because
around.
you did do a lot of things.
You
So
did a lot of
roleplayed
thief
your
stuff,
characters.
and you
Right.
also played a trick. Like, come on.
Yeah, Lafdul, you get
Well-
300 experience points,
Mm-hmm.
Ah, that's a lot. That's
Is that all?
and that's to both of your classes.
Oh, to both.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 600
That's
total. Good.
Ockar, Braxon, and Higgimus, you get 200. Leva,
That's more than I thought I'd get.
150. And Yeldan, 100.
Woo. That makes. I don't have to use the calculator.
Thanks for the game, Ald.
All right.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for
Alright.
playing. And next week we'll get some more reconnaissance in, and hopefully you guys will have reviewed some of your things and maybe come up with some new plans. And
Apparently, we're supposed to build a wooden rabbit.
Yeah, well, a horse would be not original.
all right. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching,
Thanks
everybody.
for having us.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Mhm.